I must say, that was one of the most satisfying pours that we have ever done.
I know, that was just... It had even had the drop-off.
Has that even been in the fridge, or is that bench temp?
That's bench temp. Yep.
Ugh.
Yep.
Ugh. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Controllers and Couches.
Yes, welcome back to... Yay.
We're just sitting ourselves up here. I'm ready to go. Sir's just loading up his Google Docs.
Things.
And I'm trying to find a copy of a textbook that I only need for literally 8 hours worth of content. And I think I found a full PDF version of another university.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm waiting for it to actually load up. And judging by the fact that it's been here for 10 minutes loading, suggests to me that it's either a lot of spam or it is the full textbook.
Yep. Which is pretty cool.
So if it's a full textbook, we have no problems. But yeah, what's new in your life, sir?
I ordered a plant. Finished 2 chapters of a book.
That would still be Artemis, wouldn't it?
Yep. Let's see, what else did I do? I went outside.
You brought in the washing today. I hung it up this morning.
Yep.
Before I went off to the uni.
Yes. So I went out into the sunlight of the planetary orbital sun flare thing. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get any sunburn, so that was good.
Yeah.
What else did I do? I made chocolate mousse yesterday. So I think it's one of the better mousses. I didn't put any antlers in this time. So, yeah, I think that went well.
Yeah. And you've been off sick for a while, Mr.
Yeah, thanks to a spider. Mm-hmm. So that was shit. Yeah, it's amazing what happens when an ankle bites your foot.
All those cytokines.
Ankle bite. Yeah, so... Yeah, that was fun and games. And by no means, I'm not Spider-Man. So, Spider-Man. I didn't get any superpowers.
Were you sad and devastated about
Shattered.
Fact?
Shattered. And you know what they say about shattered people who live in, stone shouldn't throw glass houses.
You're terrible, Muriel.
Yes.
I've just been studying, trying to juggle lecture notes and keeping up with readings and making sure I'm doing all the practice exam questions as we go. I'm a bit behind where I'd like to be. I'm not behind at all, but by my schedule I'm behind. But I finish early tomorrow and I'm going to be productive tomorrow. Woo. And get where I need to be. But you've already told us about your bookish things. I finished the Fifth Wave series over the weekend.
Excellent. I
finished the last book in that series, The Last Star. It wasn't excellent. I gave it 2 out of 5. Quite disappointed. If you want to just have keep it in high regards, just read the first book, let the rest go. And I'm not someone that is happy leaving uncompleted series, but it just ruined the series for me. It was a steady, not even a steady decline, it was just a drop. But apart from that, I also read The Remains in the Pond. I was actually sent that in exchange for a honest review. My honest review is 3 out of 5 stars. It was like, her writing was fantastic and I was really immersed in it. But for a murder mystery, there wasn't much mystery, and it just, again, the way I described it is like, when you're writing an essay for school or for uni, right?
Yeah.
Or you were writing a thesis. You've written theses before.
Yep.
And you know how they tell you never add other information into your conclusion, right? Mm-hmm. She did that.
Oh,
that's what it felt like. That was the definition of that. But it was really, really good. I'm actually going to have to look into her other works and stuff. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm starting, by starting, I mean, I think I'm up to chapter 9 or 10 of Divergent at the moment. But yeah, that's it.
Sweet. Because what I have been doing is I've also been listening to Ready Player One.
Yeah.
I've had some issues with some apps on my phone where they don't exactly play the playlist as per the listing. They like to sort of shuffle.
I'm just going to move around the table because I realised instead of unplugging my printer, I unplugged my charger.
Oh, yeah, that's not
like
good.
Like an idiot.
Yeah, so I was messing around with the apps and everything, so I figured instead of going through all these little crappy apps with ads and everything, I just went for good old...
what you know works.
Yeah, so I went for my personal favourite, which is VLC. So I've got it on my laptop. I've pretty much got it on everything. I think we pretty much have it on everything.
Except for the iPad,
yeah.
I think, and my iPhone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love VLC. VLC is a dream.
So, I went to VLC and, yeah, pretty much works perfectly. The only thing is, the app that runs with the timer doesn't want to actually access VLC, so I have to go through Google Play.
And find it. Yeah. Oh well.
So,
what can you do?
Also, too, I stumbled upon beatboxing. Well,
You didn't. It's like your first discovery.
Yeah, not the first discovery of beatboxing,
yeah.
but I thought I'd just investigate it a bit more because it's been a while since I've been listening to it. So I started listening through some of the showcases from last year, and I just got to say, some of these beatboxers are insane, just what they can do. And if anyone's interested, check out a guy called Napalm. He's from the US of A. His actual name is Neil Patrick Meadows, country, yeah, and he's with the USA crew, or the Brooklyn-based collective, and he's one of the top beatboxers on the planet.
Ooh.
So yeah, that was quite interesting listening to, because he has a thing. I think he's most well known for a thing known as a lip roll. So I can't do it because I'm nowhere near like anywhere like that. But it was just interesting to see. So so if you're interested in listening to beatboxing, look up Napom Napom, or thehumanbeatbox.com, or otherwise just look up World Beatbox Championships 2017, because that's where I stumbled upon. But it's I'm sure there's people out there, or there are people out there who wouldn't be interested in this at all. But I got a bit of a kick of listening to it. I was testing the speakers, and then it got me onto TEDx, in Sydney, how they do all the up and coming shows and all that sort of stuff in tech. And there's a guy who goes by the moniker Tom Thumb, and he's a beatboxer from Australia. And by far, it is probably some of the coolest beatboxing I've seen and heard. So he definitely go well in a competition and everything. But yeah, he's really cool. So yeah, check if you want to check them both out. Check out Napom and also Tom Thumb on TEDx. So yeah. But, that's what I've been sort of messing around with today.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So, and on that front, we've also got another
quiz for you today.
Yep.
This one is a bit more me-based. I apologise for being rude and making it about myself, but this is, what kind of procrastinator are you? Obviously heading into uni for me, this could be useful information. As always, the link to this will be in the episode notes, so you can take this with us.
Well, weren't we actually going to do this in the first one? But then,
we procrastinated the procrastination.
Yeah. Exactly, so it's a double procrastination. So to get things started, on this party of controllers and couches, I, FullMetalChicken, will go for first. Do you consider yourself a procrastinator?
It's either no, I'd rather say no. I depends on what I'm avoiding. I guess that means it depends on what I'm avoiding. And yes, I'm going to go with it depends on what I'm avoiding.
Yeah, I think I'm probably the same there. Because, if I, suddenly have to mow the lawn, I can do things like sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Sleeples.
So, for the next one, do you like to make to-do lists?
Yes, I make them but never stick to the plan. I only make them when I fear to forget something. No, I don't see the point. I'm a bit of a split between I only make them when I forget something. Yes, and I make them but never stick to the plan because I don't always. Yeah.
I think there's times when I have to make a to-do list because more as a checklist, like with research and everything.
Yeah.
So you need to do it because if you don't,
you're stuffed.
You're
so
stuffed.
It's a yes from me.
Yeah. So in that case, yeah, I kind of have to. Yeah. Do you forget to do things? What was I supposed to do again?
Breathe.
Yeah.
No, I keep things written down very rarely. It happens sometimes. I often do. I'm a bit more of a it happens sometimes, I often do kind of gal, but I'm going to go with it happens sometimes.
See, I'm a toss-up between it happens sometimes and I often do.
Yeah.
So, I think I'll go for it happens sometimes too.
You go, girlfriend.
Yeah. And then for the next one, when you have something important to do, how long do you usually wait to do it?
I try to do it as soon as possible. It depends how pleasant it is. I wait until last minute. I procrastinate until it's almost too late.
I tend to usually try and do it as soon as possible.
See, this is if I have the ability to do it as soon as possible, I do it. Otherwise, I procrastinate. But I'm going to go with I try to do it as soon as possible.
But I have a bad habit of occasionally doing it at the last minute. See, I'm both. So, okay, I'm just gonna throw it into. I'll wait until the last minute for this one.
You
just
go
to see something different. But it's in two minds. Like if it was Lego or something, you just whatever. But if I'm doing cancer research, you kind of go.
Has to be done.
Has to be done. Okay. Has someone ever told you to stop doing things last minute? Yeah.
It's either no, nobody probably bothers people, maybe once or twice, yes. It's a definite no from me.
Definite yes for me. Okay. Yeah. How do you deal with stressful situations?
I work well in stressful situations. I avoid them as much as possible. I try to stay calm and deal with it. I feel insecure.
I tend to work well in stressful situations.
Same.
So, yeah, doesn't really bother me that much.
You have some papers to submit. You don't sleep the night before to finish and start it. Submit it by the deadline, even if I know I could have done a better job. Submit it when I put enough effort in, or won't submit it until I'm fully satisfied with my work. I definitely won't submit it till I'm fully satisfied.
Unfortunately, I have to submit it by the deadline, even if I know I could have done a better job, because I literally have a zero room for error.
But that's not saying that I leave. I don't. Yeah. I submit things a week early because I get them done in that parameter. Unless it's the night or two before where I'm sort of like, hey, I just want one more person to rehash a last draft. So that's why I'm going to go with until I'm fully satisfied.
Yeah. For the next one, you had something due today. You think...
I'm glad I started it early. Yeah. I know I could have started before, but what's done is done. Why do I feel so unsatisfied with my work? I should have started before, as always.
I'm thinking...
I'm going to go with, I'm glad I started it early. Because I like to laugh at the suckers who are struggling.
Yeah, see, because although you do start it early, I find that when I start things early, as much as I do, it's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I have, in answer to this question, I'm probably... I'd probably say, what do you reckon? Why do I feel so unsatisfied with my work? Because I'm constantly
You're a perfectionist, and you're always trying to perfect your craft.
Yeah. So, now, do you feel guilty for procrastinating?
Always.
Yeah, always.
The options were no, sometimes, yes, but I wish I didn't, or always.
Yep. And then it's got, and finally, are you procrastinating? I am procrastinating! Yes,
right,
I'm procrastinating.
No, I have some free time. No, ... I guess. Question mark. I wish I wasn't, or totally. I mean, no, I have some free time because we have to do this.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I have some free time. Otherwise, it would have been totes. maze balls.
Alright, what'd you get, bruv?
I'm the perfectionist procrastinator.
I am the exact same. How could we have done that when we selected like 4 different things? So if you can't do the work perfectly, you just won't do it and wait until the last minute to complete the task.
Bugger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Great.
There we go.
Awesome. Alright, are we ready to get into the nitty gritty?
Yeah,
this is the reason why we came here. Alright, so remember last week? I'm pretty sure it was either last week, but if anyone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been 2 weeks ago. It was either episode 8 or episode 7. But remember when I was like, yo, we're heading into Call of Duty season?
Yeah.
And then the teaser trailer dropped for the next Call of Duty installment. This is Treyarch's round in the 3-round bipartisan system. And we're doing stuff new at Treyarch, aren't we? Cough,
yes,
cough.
we are. Yeah.
And we have Black Ops 4, except instead of being Roman numerals 4, it's 4 number ones.
Because I wanted to keep the shield.
Because we're going to drain every drop that this lemon can provide for us.
Yeah, and it's got pretty sour at this point.
So the worldwide reveal is 17th of May and the launch is on the 12th of October. This works for me in that it's not in the middle of the exam season, I don't believe. I'll have to double check my notes on that, but I'm pretty sure. But this is the earliest release that has been in a while, which I actually predicted. And apparently it's also because it's either Red Dead 2 or Red Redemption 2 that's coming out in quarter 4, that everyone was like, oh my god, and they didn't want to compete with them. So that's why it's so early. But last time I checked on EB Games, and this was last night, not this morning, the game itself is retailing for $99.95, and there wasn't any word on any special editions or combo deals or anything like that. So yeah, that was just some news that dropped in between our episodes.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see how it comes out. I mean,
I know I always say I ain't going to buy it.
You are.
But it's Treyarch. I love it. That's actually incorrect. Because my first Call of Duty that I ever played was Modern Warfare 2. And I started that, I want to say, August, September of 2010. But then my first full Call of Duty that I had and I played religiously was Blops 2.
Yep.
So I love Treyarch. They got me into... Actually, they didn't get me into Call of Duty, but they're the first... That was their last best-selling game as well, Blops 2. So I can understand how they're trying to keep with the system that they got running. But I don't know. I haven't even played the campaign of Blops 3. And I said I was going to get around to it because I wanted to see if it was a completely new story or continue on from parts 1 and 2. So we shall see.
See, it's like the whole remastering of Modern Warfare 2.
They're remastering the word on the street is they're remastering Modern Warfare 2, and 17-year-old me is freaking out about that. So if that's the case,
and also
that's fantastic.
Another interesting fact is apparently Battlefield 4 was the first COD game.
Battlefield 4 was the first COD game. I was like, hang on, are you serious?
Battlefield 4. I was playing Battlefield 4 today. Yeah, so Black Ops 4 is also expected to be the first COD game to be released on a Nintendo Switch. So
I don't have a Switch. I haven't had a Nintendo since Wii, and my parents insisted on buying it because my brother insisted on getting it, and I don't know. But anyway, keeping with our gaming news, this is something for the Tomb Raider fans. Apparently, allegedly, the remasters of Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 have been announced. And they're going to be running on 1080p for 60 frames per second. Realtek VR is going to be responsible for these remasters, and they've announced that if you already own the games, that being Tomb Raider 1, 2 or 3 on Steam, you're going to get these remastered copies for free.
Ooh, so you know what you do?
You buy them now. Get in.
Buy them now and you'll get them cheap.
I don't have dates or anything like that. I'm hoping that it will happen after the spring. It would have to happen after the spring sale because isn't the spring, sale on Steam happening in the next couple of weeks? I need to check this out. But apparently there will be open VR and controller capabilities because obviously these are hardwired for PC. And they are going to bring along some new 3D graphics for us. So, yeah.
But the funny thing is, just looking back at the original Tomb Raiders, which I played...
You've played all of them, haven't you?
And essentially, to get a lot of people run them through DOS emulators.
Yeah, but emulated copies, because I read about that, but because emulators have boosted the graphics on there.
Absolutely.
But it's not, allegedly, it's not going to be as good as what Real Tech have done. And they're trying to do it for the fans, if that makes sense.
Definite fan service on that one.
But obviously they're lining it up with the release of the new movie. So imagine if it was like buy all 3 games and then you get a copy of the DVD for free.
That would be cool.
Like, not that they would do
just
that.
To sweeten
That's
the
just
deal.
Me, you know.
Or otherwise what you do is you buy all the games and then you get a free ticket to go see the movies.
I played... which one was it? The one that came out in 2013. The one, not the one that we bought in 2015, but the one before that. I'm pretty sure it was 2013. I have to go back through my gameplays to have a look for it. I want to say it's Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I think it is,
because it's the Sun Queen one.
Yes.
That's the one that this movie is going to be based upon. But I bought it through Steam and I played it on my PC. But I just prefer... I know that everyone's going to be like, but gaming started on PCs, but I'm an Xbox gaming person. I grew up as a PlayStation person, but I'm an Xbox person now. I'm an adult now. I prefer system, like gaming system, as opposed to PC. Because I know people are going to be like, use the controller, Stephanie. Trust me, I've done that. It's not the same, and I like Gamerscore.
So Gamerscore is cool. I'm a keyboard warrior.
But you are from that, you saw the start of the gaming generation.
Yeah.
So for you, it's PC Master Race all the way. And I appreciate that, but for me, it ain't. For me, it was the PlayStation 1 was life.
It's only because of a game called Dark Forces and also X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter.
You've spoken to me.
Yeah.
What's a TIE Fighter,
What's a TIE Fighter? So, essentially... That game was the first game where you had to actually balance your stats in the sense that with the TIE Fighters and everything and the X-Wings, you pretty much have to balance your weapons with your shields and everything, and as well as your engines. Yeah. So it's really cool because if you want to have all the power, sure, you can use up all your energy. Well, there goes your shields and your weapons. So that was pretty cool. But... seeing how the games have actually evolved over time, Tomb Raider has become, since we're talking about Tomb Raider, the whole franchise, is building into a completely different animal than what it was before, because you can get so in-depth with the actual graphics. Before it was just boxes with shading. If anyone's played GoldenEye, they know all about the boxes and shading. But it gives an insight into what is possible, because I guarantee you in 10 years from now some of these games are going to be, well, they'll all be VR, so it'll be totally immersive. And I mean, I'm assuming now that this movie's coming out, they're going to bring out another Tomb Raider game, probably.
Well, this movie's supposed to be based on that.
Yeah, which is supposed to be, a reboot of the Lara Croft Origins. So we were sitting there playing that game, we're like, okay, yeah, well, interesting. Then you've got the movies that are currently out, and you kind of go... We were in the cinema, and this wasn't last week, this was the week before. What did we go and see again? Was it a horror? Yeah, it was Winchester.
Winchester, that's it. Sorry, sir, you should have said.
All good.
And they were playing the trailer, and I was like, what is this? What did I call it? Abomination.
Yeah, what is Abomination?
What is this abomination? I don't... You know what also gets me? Alright, I understand the need for the grunts and the audio files like that, but I swear, if you close your eyes, you are listening to porn.
Yeah.
She's like, ah! And I'm like, dude, you're jumping off the plane to get across the waterfall or whatever the fudge it is. And she's like, ah! And I'm like, can you make her, less... I understand that everyone's going to be like, oh my god, she's supposed to be sexualized. But I'm telling you, if I have to zoom, if the camera zooms in on her ass when she's climbing through that cavern tunnel, I can't.
Well, they're gonna put the fan service in there for the little 15-year-old kids.
15-year-old kids or 45-year-old men. But anyway...
Well, both of them are going to be wanting to raid tombs. So.
Talking about wanting to raid tombs, I just wanted to quickly update everyone on 45th versus gaming. PC Gamer didn't update their article. I just literally checked 5 seconds ago, and I quickly just chucked it in to Google. And apparently this meeting happened 3 days ago. And the title of GameSpot's article is President Trump's video games meeting included a violent game montage, and that the Verge has also said that it was unproductive and completely bizarre. And yeah, he pretty much brought together these gaming industry top executives, parents groups, members of Congress, and it was labelled hastily assembled, and that it was a distraction from more concrete gun control measures. So, you know what, they are just... and the quote was, the president encouraged game developers to explore things that they can do on their own to make things healthier in society.
Well, there you go.
The Rockstar Games CEO was there, the ZeniMax CEO was there, or at least they were invited, and so was the Entertainment Software Association President Mike Gallagher, who apparently last week, from memory, the ESA said that they hadn't been approached. So it's interesting that they managed to get the president to go in last minute, but apparently Congress was really uninterested in the issue.
They're like, you know, at the end of the day, games, whoop-de-doo, we've got bigger issues.
I'm pretty sure if you're telling people to bring more guns in schools, that's a bigger problem than the violence. Because tell me what video game people have been playing since 0000.
Pac-Man, Mario, Pong.
But that was before all the wars.
Yeah.
You know, before when civilization started, and it was just rocks, fire, and sticks. What video games and emulators were they playing? Oh, that's right, it was none. This brings me back to the part where there are legal ratings on a video game for a reason.
Yeah.
And if people don't have the mental, I don't want to say capacity, but if people don't have the mental ability to distinguish what is real, what is not, what is appropriate, what is not, whether it be in real life, in society, or in a video game, you have a bigger problem on your hands than... Yeah.
But then again, you see people who go, look, you're reading a violent book. You shouldn't be reading that. That's bad for you.
This brings me back to when I bought Altered Carbon from QBD a month or so ago. And I bought it because we're halfway through the season,
yes.
I want to say. And then we've taken a hiatus. But the show was interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people where I always assume that the book or the written media is better than the TV show or the adaptation. And I'm not sure if the book came out before the show or if the book is based on the events of the show, if that makes sense, because it's a tie-in from the series. But at the end of the day, I was just like, hey, we both enjoyed this series. I'm going to get us the book. I'm going to read it. You're going to read it. And we'll just see how it varies, what it's like. So I take it in and she's goes, oh my god, you're not actually going to purchase that, are you? And I've gone, well, yeah, you know, that's why it's on the shelves, so a customer can purchase it, and I want to buy it. I like the show. And then she's gone, oh, but you know, the cover's creepy and disgusting, and why would you want to read that? And it's like, well, first off, you sell porn in here.
Yeah. Like,
you literally sell erotica, and I've seen... When we picked up Darker, you happened to be there when I was buying the 5th 50 Shades book, there was a 14-year-old girl buying the whole series, and I'm fucking 24, buying a science fiction book. There is literal porn in that store.
And here I am looking at the Necronomicon, and it's like, right, okay, you know.
I don't know. But anyway, so point being point, I ended up buying the book. It's sitting there to be read.
Yeah.
What do you
So
think?
essentially, If
you don't agree with what your store is selling, don't work there.
No.
If you have a problem with what people are buying or what people are into, don't sell that media. Don't have that position. And I understand that people are going to be all about, but people need jobs, people need to pay bills. I completely understand. I'm one of those people. But don't be judgmental about it if that's the product you sell. It's not porn. Even if it was, I'm not going to be judged on it.
No.
It was a fucking science fiction novel.
It is. And essentially, if anyone has seen the series or is preparing to see the series, the scene on the cover of the actual thing
is the part where he's being zipped out for the first time.
At the very beginning. What he is, he's just
in his sleeve.
He's in a sleeve. Like a skin sleeve. He's essentially just data that's been uploaded into like a sleeve. So it's definitely sci-fi and it's good, but we don't want to spoil it.
No. Moving on to things we don't want to spoil. We haven't watched this yet, but the first reviews for Ready Player One are hitting the internet. I saw this morning and I thought I would include this for Sir because you and I are going to have it. We've been discussing this.
Yes, we have.
Since we've heard the movie coming out. But first reviews of Ready Player One, they've been debuted at South by Southwest and they hit the internet overnight. And Hollywood Reporter writer John DeFore has said that the book got the movie it deserves. Last I checked this morning, I want to say 10, 11 o'clock, when I was waiting for my bus, the Rotten Tomato meter hasn't been activated yet. So, yeah, I'll just quickly check now to double check, Oh, so now it's got a 76% rating over 21 reviews, and the tomato meter is 76, which obviously makes sense. And it's across all critics. 98% of viewers want to see it, and 7,190 people have said they want to see it. So. And
see, the key thing that it has happened in it, it's like even from the trailer, I can see that they've taken the 80s and they've merged the 80s retro with the modern now. And they've combined it, and
they should have just kept it to what it was and do an 80s throwback.
And I mean, I understand why all the licensing and everything gets crazy, and you got to pay licensing for this, licensing for that.
That's what it was. If you're not prepared to put the money into something to reflect what it's about and have the culture, the 80s pop culture, don't fucking do it. You're not gonna have a Call of Duty game and be like, we can't be bothered playing the techno dubstep music in the nightclub map. Don't fucking, But apparently I've just gone into the stats. The average rating is 6... Bite your nails one more time. I swear to God.
Like I said last time, I got to throw it in once every single time.
The average rating is 6.1 out of 10. The reviews in total is 21. 16 people have given it a fresh and 5 have given it a rotten. So 6.1 out of 10.
Yeah. So essentially a lot of people who've read the book said the book is just, it's easy writing.
While the movie is visually whimsical with its design and neon colours, the weakness of the source material still pokes out. Oh, that wasn't a good review. I should have read it in front of you. The cultural references crammed in everywhere should have given the movie heart, but instead they felt like contractual obligations.
So it's just...
Sorry, this is me deliberately picking the negative ones just because I just want to see what people didn't like about it. Is there another one here? The cinematic equivalent of a pop culture mashup tea. I'm sorry, did you not read the book?
And it's just... Like, even here, what they've said, when they're trying to solve the first challenge. I'm not going to say what it is because it will... spoil, but
these are people who didn't like the book. Let's just close that.
Yeah.
They're people who are like, the book was weak, but I don't know.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. It's going to be one of those things. You either enjoyed the book or you enjoyed the movie. I can straight away see what they've done here.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what we discussed.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago. We said exactly what they were going to do, roughly, and now that's it.
Oh, well.
So,
I'm not a film critic. I haven't seen it yet. We are going to see it. I think it comes out... Is it the 29th?
Yep, 29th of March.
So we're going to see it the first week of April, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because I don't think... Because you got the day off on Good Friday. But I don't know if movie centres are open on Good Friday.
They will be.
Because if they are, we'll go... Not this Friday coming. It's in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, we'll go see it.
And we can go, depending on... Yeah. And how everyone is and shit.
Yeah, because...
Kind of reading, because reading's cheaper.
Yes. That's the thing. How long till readings becomes like Hoyts?
Look, if I had have known how cheap readings was, I would have just made the trek up to the nearest reading.
Yeah.
The whole time. But when we go the next time, if/when we go, I want to get a membership card. I don't know what the... Do they even have... They'd have to have a membership card though, wouldn't they?
They would. Probably online somewhere. Because Hoyts is getting ridiculous. I mean, I remember when I was young.
But the thing is...
$5 a ticket.
The tickets that we went and we got to see Winchester, that would have been one ticket.
One ticket at Hoyts. So with the money it cost us to buy 2 tickets, popcorn...
That's a ticket and a half at Hoyts.
Yeah, literally. It's just...
And the popcorn was better. It's called the Real Club. Real spelled R-E-E-L. Simply pick up a red club card from any location and activate it online below. Cool. It doesn't say you have to pay for it. Well, it doesn't even say what the prices are. But if anyone knows, be sure to let me know. The next time we go, I'm gonna go have a look. You get 50 points. You get 50 points and a voucher. $5. When you have 50 points, you get a $5 voucher off your next movie. When you get 100 points, you get $5 off. Why would that be the exact same thing? $5 off. So the 50 points and the 100 points are the exact same thing. You get a $5 voucher off. At 150 points, you get a free medium drink. 200, you get $5 off your next movie. 250, you get a medium popcorn. 300, $5 off your next movie. A free choc top at 50, 350. 400 is... So it just builds you up, I guess. So that way you can have... And then at 500 points, you get a free movie. But I wonder what the points to dollar ratio is. It doesn't say here in the terms. You get every 50 point level you receive an award based on the schedule above. And it's 1 point per dollar spent on eligible items.
There you go.
But what are your eligible items? Gotta go to a separate one. Sorry, this is just me reading. You have to be 13 years and over. Sorry, I can't see how much it costs if you want to be inducted into the program. Oh well, I'm sure she'll tell us when we get there, if we go and whatever. But yeah, so that is that on that front. But if anyone knows, please be sure to let me know. Let us know.
It'd be good to know.
Blah, 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 blah. What else have we got here? Okay. This story I wanted to talk about because I think it's important to bring awareness. You don't know what the story is yet. I had a friend yesterday at uni who spoke about it. We don't normally cover things like this because I don't want people to think we're cashing in on drama that's happening. Like, I'll talk about video games. I'll talk about movies. I'll talk about some political shit. But when you're going to bring especially innocent kids into it, I don't feel good doing that. So even though you can Google it and you can find this information widespread across the net, and, you know, I have 100% right to talk about it and say the name, I'm not going to do it. I'm not disclosing that because that's not what we're about.
No.
And all that thing. But basically, the reason why I'm bringing this up is not that I want ratings or anything like that, but I just feel like I have to make that disclaimer.
It's just awareness. But
this is just an awareness thing because I think the story is absolutely, completely horrible and it's just horrifying. So, there's a little girl in WA, I'm not going to say which city or anything like that, and she's now in a vegetative state because she got electrocuted by turning on her outside garden tap. It's been blamed on old pipes, wiring and corrosion because they live in older government housing. The mother got shocked a few weeks prior and she called the Sparky and she let their equivalent of the landlord know. And they gave it the all clear and were like, nah, sorry, don't know what happened, probably static electricity, everything's fine. And then she went outside, this little girl, and it was a hot day. She turned on the tap to play around in the sprinklers, one story article said, and she got electrocuted. And her mother found her in a body of, like, the puddle of water, and she was obviously just lying in it. And this poor little angel is 11 years old, and all they have offered her so far is new accommodation. If her mother wants to move her into a new house. If they don't want to live in that house or that accommodation anymore. So I fucking hope that the state is fucking paying for her medical bills and will pay for her medical bills, whatever this little girl needs, the rest of her life, because this is absolutely disgusting and it never, ever should have gotten to this.
And you know the really unfortunate thing? There's a chance that if she's taken off life support, she won't survive. So basically, that's at 11 years old, that's the call.
Her life hasn't even started yet.
It's over. Essentially, it's over.
I probably shouldn't have even said the gender of the child, so I apologise.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that till right this fucking second, because I'm an idiot. But like I said,
so
it
essentially,
just never should have happened.
What could happen is, if the wiring's done, I mean, if it was connected to the mains instead of the earth, far out,
But that's the discussion I had with my friends at uni, and that's what I said. I said, so was the house not earthed?
Yeah.
And they've gone, no, the house was earthed, but the water lines and the power lines ran together.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird and absolutely stupid.
So, it's going to be interesting to see what else happens now. But when you actually think about it, it could happen to anyone. But
the bit that shits me up the fucking more is the fact that the mother reported it and she did everything she could. And this poor little baby now has life-altering effects because someone didn't do their job properly.
Yeah. So, yeah, because if you get any form of, dimming lights, flashing power... Switch everything off and, call in a tech to get it checked, because the last thing you want to do is fry yourself and fry.
Don't understand
do
accidentally going to, thinking about sticking a knife in the toaster and being like, oh, oops, bad move.
Yeah.
Or, I've touched shit's on, like, the oven, because our fan force button one day just wasn't there and we didn't touch anything, and literally the oven was off. That's the scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the wiring had come exposed, like it had poked out through the hole, and literally I swear to you, the gas wasn't even on, the power wasn't even on, and I was using the silicone tongs.
Yeah.
And all I did was pick up the wire to move it back, to push it back into the hole, and it sparked.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get shocked, but the wire sparked,
yeah.
even though the stupid oven was off. So stupid shit can happen all the time, and I don't want to be one of those people that's like, hypervigilance and everyone needs to live in cotton wool. But scary shit can happen.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah. Moving on to our normal scheduled programming, I have our first science thingy of the day. I didn't understand this when I first saw the article pop up on Nature, so I was a little bit confused as to what's going on. But let me break it down. So AI researchers are using Bitcoin technology to share their medical data, and the University of Cali, a ton of occupational biologists, they're building a system that allows people to share their medical data with researchers easily, securely, and still retain control over their information. This method is based on the blockchain technology that underlies Bitcoin, and they're hoping to share, obviously, medical scans, hospital records, genetic data, and that this is all going to make the system more efficient, and they're hoping to train the AI algorithms on the data using the blockchain systems to maybe one day hope in diagnoses.
And look on the bright side, that increases security as well, because because it's a blockchain,
you can access your data, you have to actually give someone.
So essentially, to hack one block
You have to unlock all of them.
You have to individually and independently target all the other blocks that link to that particular block. So you're essentially increasing the security of that data.
Yeah.
So,
but I think it'll be great too, because I don't want to say that everyone should have to carry their medical history with them, but touch wood, should you get in a situation where, or even if you're like, I need to go to the optometrist, but my optometrist hasn't faxed me or emailed me my prescription yet, and then you just go straight online, and the glasses people are able to be like, yeah, no worries, Steph, here's your prescription, I've got it right here, blah blah blah. To make it more seamless, that'd be a lot nicer. And there was also this app, MedAdvisor.
Yep.
That I think a lot of people should look at. I know that there are a ton of alternatives out there, but basically if you have grandparents, or if you have to take daily medication, or you want to keep track of your scripts or prescriptions, there's these apps that can set reminders for you if you don't already subscribe to that service through your chemist or your pharmacy, and they tell you how many you have left, what pill you should be up to if you're into that.
So essentially keeps track, so you don't have to worry about forgetting what you're up to.
So I just thought I'd throw that in there, that's all. But also continuing on, well, this is a bit more of a malware route. Haha, get it? Route. The title of this segment is Malware Attacks Through Routers. So Kaspersky Lab researchers have discovered another malware. Surprise, surprise, that is their job after all. Mm-hmm. This one's called Slingshot, and this code spies on PCs. I would like to emphasize the word PCs. Through a multi-layer attack that targets MikroTik routers. So them specifically. It replaces a library file with malicious versions, and then that causes other malicious components to be downloaded off the internet because it's doing it in the background of your computer and you may not be aware, blah, blah, blah. And then this will launch a two-pronged attack on your computer. It runs a low-level code that lets the hacker get into your storage, sometimes without you knowing, and managing the file system so that way you can't delete anything to try and fix the problem, so that way they can keep the malware alive. It can take keyboard strokes, network traffic, passwords, and those pesky screenshots that you may be saving for evidence later on.
And see, the other thing is, this is interesting because, the fact that they think that
Five Eyes is involved.
Yeah, it's, sophistication leads to state agency kind of, production.
I just don't understand why. I had never heard of that router before.
Okay.
You got to start small. To think big, you got to think small.
Think small, then think big. But the thing is, if you start small, if you can monitor at the router and then the files,
you can control everything on a home account.
And you know how people use VPNs and then they
scramble.
So essentially, if you can track the people at the source,
nothing is anonymous anymore.
Nothing. You take away complete anonymity. You can get people at the source, and then you can shut down...
In real time, you can shut down everything.
Everything.
That would be a good program in terms of parental control. If you at any point just wanted to be like, oh, I'm at work, my kids are at home on holidays, what shit are they doing? And to be able to see, not in terms of like a perv, or what's the word I'm looking for, to like a helicopter parent. But to be like, you should be studying Switch.
But you think about it. Normally people would take down a server or something with a DDoS.
Yeah. But to target one specifically.
Yeah.
And one PC specifically.
Imagine that going through NORAD or the computers at ASIO. Imagine.
I don't think that they would have normal OS though.
No.
I'd like to think that they have
Linux
technology that's 10 years ahead of what's on public domain.
It'd probably be Linux based,
because they're all coding.
Yeah, the thing about that's why you don't find viruses for Linux systems, because you get a hacker goes, "Ooh, I've written a virus." You've just written it to them. You're hacking a Linux based system. You're hacking a hacker. And hackers don't like being hacked, so they will literally
riot in the streets.
kilobits for everyone, you know.
Talking about rioting in the streets, again, another story, not going to name names because it's not our place, but a nerve agent that was used to poison a former Russian spy and his daughter in the UK has indeed been developed in Moscow. The nerve agent is called Novichok, which translated to English means newcomer. This group of agents, it's classified as a family of agents. They've been in development since the 1980s. Ooh. So, yeah, this is like Cold War era shit.
Yep.
Back when the USSR wanted to stockpile Novichok or other agents without other people knowing, because they put it in fertilizer bags, allegedly.
Yeah.
So.
And essentially, you know, if this has been stockpiled and then it's unleashed, and because it's surface exposure and it's also quantity based.
It's not even that. It's supposed to be undetectable according to NATO standards. That's why it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
So it's dimethylheptylpyrene.
Yay! Gotta love methyl groups.
What is it? It's blood, blister, nerve. It's like G. What's a G agent and what's a V agent? Because it's got taboon in here, sarin, soman, cyclosarin, EA3148. What the hell is EA1? What are you?
So basically, it's dealing with organophosphates.
Acetylcholinesterase.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, game on.
Shit.
Yeah. So it's not good.
Shit. Do you know what happens then? You literally cannot breathe.
No.
Your diaphragm will not be able to breathe.
No.
And generate negative pressure for air to come in your lungs because your muscles work on acetylcholine.
And I mean, like, you look at the G series for the nerve agents.
What is G series? What does that mean?
They're basically volatile liquids.
But why is it G? What does the G designate? I'm telling you, like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be suggestive. But the fact is, I already have a degree in this shit and I major in neuroscience, right? So I'm looking at this shit and I'm terrified. Like, I know what these drugs do. I know what these so V means it's second generation. G signals generation 1.
It's just... So, yeah, essentially Tabun, which is a GA, Sarin, which is a GB, Soman, which is a GD, and cyclosarin, GF, they're the most, or amongst the most toxic chemical warfare agents known to man. And basically, they comprise the G series, and thus named because German scientists were the first to synthesize them. So that's why they're the G series. So the GAs, so Tabun, were done in 1936. GB, which is sarin, was discovered in 1938, followed by Soman, which is a GD, in 1944, and then there was the GF, which is a bit more obscure, and that's the cyclosarin, which is in 1949. And essentially the only other known nerve agent is O-ethyl-S 2-diisopropylaminoethyl, methyl phosphonethioate, VX, so VX gas. And yeah, there's that falls into the category of nerve agents. So you've got the VE series, VE, VG, VM, VX. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, it's the GB. So sarin is the most volatile, and the problem with it is it evaporates at the same rate as water. So you think about
it's almost a silver bullet.
So what you do is you put it in a container, then you displace the container, or you displace the liquid in the container, and it would just vaporize. So you think of that as an explosive. You ignite it, it vaporizes, and you've got, once it's in a vapor form, it's easily inhaled.
According to this table that I'm looking at, in terms of like list of chemical welfare agents, so it's looking at like riot control, incapacitation, pulmonary nettle nerve blister. Blood is the most lethal chemical agent pathway, and the worst one is cyanogen chloride.
That's bad. That's really bad.
I'm trying to look for
chlorine.
What the lethal dose is. It's LD lethal dose, right?
Yes. So
Sorry,
like an LD 50. Well, there's certain ones for inhalation exposures to, say, GB. So,
why
sarin.
can I not find it?
Good old sarin gas. You've got a 75 to 100 milligrams per minute slash.
I just realised, again, this is our ASIO reference. I apologise, ASIO, that my computer history is going to be so... The lethal dose, right? The lethal dose is determined to be 0.7 parts per million, Michael.
Yeah.
0.7 parts per million. That's 1.78 milligrams.
Well, to give you an idea for dermal exposures for sarin...
According to ToxicNet, what does CDC say?
So the LD50 for the exposed population for dermal dosage is 1,700 milligrams. So 1.7 grams. 1.7 grams. You get 1.7 gram. Imagine what 100 grams of that would do. Imagine what a teaspoon would do. Imagine a 600 ml bottle being dispersed and vaporized. And that's what you see. Remember the sarin gas attack in the train station? Because it's enclosed, ventilated, it will spread, Oh, geez. So, yeah, it's, it's not very, very, fun.
According to CDC, it is also 0.7 parts per million.
Yeah, that's...
In monkeys... Oh, shit, hold on, sorry. Let me just double check this. They've got an actual PDF document. Oh, this looks really old. From 1995. Where are you? Are you PDF searchable? No, you are not. Dude, this is scary.
It is. It can happen so easily. If there's some crazy person that wanted to do it, they would.
Do not put water directly on the leak or spill area.
Yeah.
Why? Is that because it ionizes and then it's worse?
Well, it's just going to spread. It's going to vaporize. It's going to spread it more.
Where are you? Oh, here we go. So the LC50 in rats was 2,700 parts per million for 3 minutes. In monkeys, it was 2,200 parts per million for 1 minute. And in rabbits, it's 3,000 for 7. Animals acutely poisoned with cyanogen chloride show signs of cyanide poisoning, pulmonary edema before death, which can occur in 40 seconds. Exposure to concentrations below 1 part per million, which is approximately 0.7 ppm, same thing, causes burning of the eyes, lacrimation. What the hell is lacrimation? Lacrimation. And hemorrhage. What's lacrimation, Stephanie?
The flow of tears.
Oh, that's a cool word.
So basically it makes your eyes water.
Yeah, well, you'd be burning. Your
Hell
body
yeah.
would be burning.
And you want to know also, sarin's a phosphoryl halide.
Yeah, it's a halide, which means that it's gonna...
It's got a fluorine,
a
phosphorus and a fluoride.
What's the word? Reactive.
Yeah, so essentially, but the other thing too is because water and hydroxide and nucleophilic agents. At high pH, the sarin decomposes rapidly to non-toxic phosphonic acid.
The world is a scary place.
It is. And, so little things like that. So sarin, let's make it airborne. And then you've got ricin, which is, just silly, Yeah, so, hopefully we don't get blocked because of this, because this is some heavy shit. And
sorry,
ASIO. Sorry, ASIO. This stuff, this rabbit hole goes very, very deep and wide.
I'm just going to close that now. Let's just segue on to the next
thing.
Next
thing.
Really scary.
Yeah, that's some real Call of Duty shit right there.
Okay, so NASA announced plans. You're going to like this. Guess which movie reference? To develop a nuclear-armed satellite that will be capable of shooting down large asteroids like the one that took out the dinosaurs. Everyone buckle up for this.
Buckle yourselves.
It's going to be called Hammer, like MC Hammer. Hypervelocity asteroid mitigation mission for emergency response. Do you know what annoys me? How they do not capitalise or include capital F for for, or capital O for of.
Yeah.
Or capital T for the. That annoys me. But anyway, so basically NASA is going to present these plans at the Catastrophic Disruption in the Solar System Workshop in Kobe, Japan in May.
Yay! Plus, they've got nuclear payloads on the
Could you imagine if when they're, just hypothetical, could you imagine when they're launching the nuclear payloads on the satellites and they breach and the nuclear payload falls off and plummets back to Earth?
Oh, yeah. Yay, we just cracked Earth. We found Hollow Earth. Yay!
What would that do? That would move Earth off its orbit, right? And then we'd be dead.
Something as big as that, if it...
Say that it's carrying 2, right?
Yeah.
Say that it's carrying 2. And say that they break off and plummet back to Earth. That's going to push...
It would shift the planetary orbit.
And isn't it if we go more than 1 degree over or under, life will not sustain on our planet? Like, we're literally the perfect...
Yeah, we are a Goldilocks planet.
So...
Yeah, that would mess things up big time.
These are the questions we should be asking.
Yeah.
These are the things that scare me.
Goldilocks.
As if you just put a nuclear payload... But I thought nuclear weapons didn't work in space anyway because of something.
Well, there's no oxygen.
Because you need to have ignition.
Yeah.
So what, are they going to put the canister with oxygen in there?
Maybe.
Or supply it with oxygen and be like, ignition, launch.
Imagine that, liquid nitrogen.
Oh. But what's the maintenance on that going to be? And what happens if we have in... Remember that... it's not Ghosts. Was it Ghosts? Yes, it was Ghosts. Where they had the internet... Not an International Space Station, but it was like the International Space Station. And then there was mutiny. Mm. And then everyone died. And then the iron rods plummeted to Earth. And then LA got thrown up to shit. Yeah, that.
Yeah, we don't want that. Okay,
so anyway... On to the next one, also keeping it space. Our Lord and Saviour, Neil deGrasse Tyson, has made a statement about flat earthers, saying that the current education system is to blame and they have failed to teach critical analysis to students. His exact words were, "Our system needs to train you not only..." Sorry, let's try this again. Our system needs to train you not only what to know, but how to think about information, knowledge, and evidence. If we don't have that kind of training, you'd run around believing anything.
And see, that's exactly what...
Pseudoscience!
Pseudoscience for the win. But that's the reason why, they want it.
Switch on the light and close that window.
They want it like that. So you think about it. If you've got a dumb populace, you can pretty much do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
You can tell them to jump... tell them to jump, they say how high. That's pretty much it. So, as we know, it's going to go to dum-dums.
Would you like a chocolate Easter egg, sir?
Oh, yeah, sure.
My mum, I want to say 2 weeks ago, was like, "Oh, I know you'll be studying And I'm going to see... My birthday is the weekend after normal Easter, but Orthodox Easter is the weekend of my birthday. So, double chocolate for me, but she did give us some chocolate. She was like, here, I know Michael likes some. But, yeah, society is just shit.
Yeah, it's like flat Earth. I mean, that would...
And do you know what... Sorry, you continue.
No, I say, flat Earth is just shit. I mean, if I know anything from the disc world, I mean, we're supposed to be on the back of...
turtle.
A turtle, you know. Well, actually, we're being supported by elephants. You know, Great Ashwin. But, you know...
On the back of a turtle,
I don't see
right?
Rincewind complaining about all this shit, so... It's just... More the fact that eating chocolate, if anyone else likes chocolate, give us a thumbs up. And
do you know what annoys me? When people
nom.
say, oh, like, not to name names or anything, but you know who I'm talking about when I say this.
Yes.
But when people are doing these conspiracy or murder mystery or unsolved murder or missing people cases, and then they're like, oh, I researched this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you and I have very different definitions
Of research. Essentially, what they did was delve, and they gleaned. Delved and gleaned.
But getting your information from news.com or a pre-prepared timeline on Wikipedia is completely different to saying... Like, I'm not saying what I do is, you know... I'm not saying what I do is medical journalism, but if I have to write an essay about, like the one I have to write now is the, what's that word? Electrophoretic techniques to diagnose mitochondria, complex mutations and stuff, and to give examples, I need to find first... What's that word I'm looking for? First order research articles? Primary,
not
primary research articles.
Yeah, so you want primary. You can kind of get away with secondary.
Take one more egg because I'm putting these away.
Tertiary, not so much. So essentially, if you're
What
going
is
to
a tertiary?
Tertiary is a textbook.
Okay, that's...
So primary is
Primary is a journal, an actual research article where they're like, oh yeah, I've done this experiment, this is it, this is how it fits within the literature and what's happening today. Secondary is, correct me if I'm wrong, a review.
Yep.
Or metadata. Metadata analysis.
But you also have letters to the editor, which...
Falls under secondary.
Primary.
No, because...
Sometimes depends.
Unless they've done the experiment and they're like, we haven't finished this yet, but this disproves what you just, published a week ago.
Which is what I did.
That you're smart, okay? You're a machine and you're smart.
No, I'm not.
Everyone's always like, oh, I don't know anyone who's published, and I'm like, I know people. What journal were you published in?
Well, at this stage, just for shits and giggles.
Actually, I'm not going to say, because then people find out what your real name is.
Yeah. So...
But you, you're published.
Yeah, I'm
and
published.
I tell people all the time, and I'm like, I know someone who's published.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
And there's going to be more. So,
well, you'd hope so.
Yeah, but the thing
After
is...
all those years in tertiary education.
No, right. But the thing is... But
to segue this, I used a primary journal article.
Excellent. Did you use EndNote?
No, I just copied the URL that has the... Are they DOI at PLOS? Yeah, they're DOI at PLOS, aren't they? The PubMed ID there. But the DOI, just put that website in there for you.
Excellent. So, PubMed IDs for the win. If you're not quoting PubMed IDs...
Look, unless you got that PubMed ID for me, or the DOI, I don't want to talk.
No, it's... Anything else is purely conjecture. If there's... Don't get me wrong, journal articles, you still generate conjecture, but I'm going to be more inclined to listen to what you have to say.
What a peer review person is.
Yes, this is peer review. So, if you're telling me the world is flat, I want to see the data. I want to see the experiments. I want to see your hypothesis.
Look, I tell you what.
I want to see your method.
Unless Morgan Freeman right, admits that he's David Attenborough in disguise.
Yeah.
Right? And lets everyone know that he is God and comes out with it. I don't believe. Unless he comes out and says, no, I decided to, set up a hologram and make you all believe it was round.
Yep.
That it was spherical. I ain't gonna believe shit.
No.
But if I wake up tomorrow morning and he comes out, Morgan Freeman comes out and says, I am David Attenborough in my free time and I deem the world flat, that's it. I understand.
You do realise that Morgan Freeman is also Charles Darwin. Evolution of the Species is essentially written by Morgan Freeman.
No.
So essentially, from here forth,
Morgan Freeman is
Morgan
everything.
Freeman. And you know who does his bidding? Keanu Reeves.
No, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No. No one would think. See, because look how nice Keanu Reeves is to everyone. He flies under the radar, but Neil
tell that to John Wick.
John Wick. But Neil deGrasse Tyson is the chosen one. Morgan Freeman holds the keys, essentially.
Yeah.
And then, basically, John Wick takes out the non-believers. So all those flat earthers. Now, we have proven this. The reason why we know the earth is not flat is because of, felines, tigers, lions, cats.
They'd fall off. They'd knock everything off.
They'd knock everything off it. There would be nothing on it. They would push everything the fuck off,
Can I just say, we lucked out really good with our floofs.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've ever seen them knock anything besides their toys, like if they're playing around.
Now, just in case you're wondering, bunnies don't do much. However, there's a Star Destroyer that I built, which is now smashed.
Okay.
Because one of them jumped on it.
Can we provide some context for this story?
Okay, so I put it
I'm
on
going to tell this story because you're not going to tell it in a chronological order.
Okay, you have to start with
so
Once
sit
Upon a
down
Time.
and bask.
Yeah, everyone sit down and listen.
Once upon a time, in a galaxy not so far away.
So far away,
Michael decided that FullMetalChicken decided that he was going to start a YouTube channel where he speed built both Lego and alternative versions.
Yep.
And reviewed them on the internet. And one day he decided to get the biggest kit he could possibly purchase at that point in time, and that was a Star Destroyer. And I'm looking up, and it's still there in its pieces.
Because I'm still waiting on something.
He built it 3/4, and he decided to leave it in the main thoroughfare of the TV room. And he decided it the same afternoon to let Daenerys and Artemis out, and this is before he moved it, on their picnic blanket in the TV room so we could observe them.
Yes.
To, you have to parental supervision.
Yep.
I, to this day, have never seen Daenerys binky so hard or so far in her life.
We're talking...
She's a rebel at heart.
Yeah. We're talking probably, what, about 3/4 of a metre in the air?
No one threw her.
She...
Rabbits binky when they're happy.
Oh, she binkied.
It's like that little jump they do, and it's like a side kick. It's really, really cute.
B
right?
for bounce.
B for B grade fucking TNT bomb that she just blasted on
the
that
bunny
shit.
went up.
She went up, and the Star Destroyer came down.
It went down,
and then she literally just sat in it.
She was the Death Star. She was in the Death Star.
She sat on it, and she was like, I don't see a problem with this. I think she may have dropped a few of her own bombs.
She tried to drive it. She actually went forwards and then backwards.
She pooped on it twice.
She pooped on it, so it was a really shit Super Star
And
Destroyer.
you're looking at me like you were just dumbfounded.
We heard the bang.
You didn't know what happened, so you looked it up. And you saw her, and you just saw what happened, and it took you 40 seconds to process. All I did was look back at her, look back at you, and then I literally had to run to the toilet because I was seconds away from matuitioning all over myself.
Oh,
and to this day, half of the bits that were salvageable are put up in one shelf, and the other bits that are not so salvageable are put up on another shelf.
So it is
And
essentially...
since then, you've never built Lego again.
Yeah, it was enough demoralisation to kind of... So, yeah, so my particular channel at the moment has stalled.
You should get back into it.
I probably should, but...
Start tomorrow.
Maybe.
I'll clear my shit off the table.
Nah, it's fine. I'll set up the separate. I got folding tables.
Yeah, 3 of them. Alright, so getting back into it. Sorry for the detour, everyone. We were talking about the PubMed IDs. The PubMed ID is there for you, so you can find it.
Oh,
it's 10.137
Woo!
1/journal.ppat.16898 in case you're interested.
Oh, yeah.
So for everyone else, a group of researchers have used... We talked about CRISPR last week.
Yes, we did.
CRISPR-Cas9 mediated technology, and it's basically where you can alter DNA at the gene level. Like you can alter genes at the DNA level, I should say.
Yes.
But what they did was they made a knockout, so that means that they completely deleted one specific gene in mosquitoes, and this gene was called FREP1 or FREP1, and they used this gene to suppress... Well, this gene knockout is supposed to suppress malaria parasite infection,
Yes.
according to them. So adult mosquitoes showed a profound suppression of infection on both human and rodent malaria parasites at the oocytes and spirolyzocyte stages. So this is obviously pre-embryonic stuff, I think. That's what an oocyte is. It's an ovum.
Yep.
So that was what they had in their abstract. And then when I actually looked into their results, they stated that at the high infection level, the prevalence was 68.8% in the knockouts. And you think, oh my god, that's still high? No. In the control wild-type mosquitoes, where they weren't knockouts, where they didn't alter or delete the gene, it was 97.5. And the infection prevalence showed a 2.1-fold decrease from 81.3 in the wild-type undeleted knockouts. In the wild-type non-knockout variety, compared to the 38.9% of the knockouts at a low infection level. And in case anyone's like, oh my god, it's due to chance, the chi-square chance thing, the p-value here was p is less than 0.0001.
Yeah.
So that's about as low as you can get, the chi-square calculation. But the caveat here is that the gene knockout resulted in decreased fitness for the mosquito, so it significantly lowered their blood feeding, their egg hatching rate. They had a slower pupation time, and they also had reduced longevity following a blood meal.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, with retarded larval development, that means that essentially, like similar to flies, how flies have instars with the regarding to larval development, you have a third, like 1, 2, 3, and then pupa.
So that means it's an important transcription factor for body plan development or something like that, right?
And by the fact that it's cutting, essentially you're just kind of going, okay, well,
But it makes sense for the mosquito to, for the malaria
the
agent.
plasmodium.
Yeah, that's the word, sorry. I almost said planetarium before you corrected me, but then I was like, oh my god, that's incorrect. It would make sense for it to want to attach to a gene that is imperative in the mosquito. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is important for it, because that's... I don't want to use the word symbiotic, but it would make sense.
Yeah, it's basically an antagonist. Agonist. It's an agonist.
But it would make sense, wouldn't it, for it to... go for a gene that they know it's always going to have. It's going to be highly conserved, do you know what I mean? And important for the development of the mosquito.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And you can then look into things like Ross River as well. So,
but Ross River is caused by malaria.
So it's very, very bad. Yeah.
You're just looking at the data now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, you do that. I'll continue
on. Data. Sorry, it's just data everywhere. I'm like, I understand this. It's crazy. Like, for instance, gRNA expression templates.
Can I say, yesterday was public holiday, which meant that the public transport was shit.
Bank loves money.
And it was Labour Day, so it's different. It was a celebration of the 8-hour day.
Yeah.
So I decided that I would stay at uni for an extra hour because I totally forgot, but CSL Limited had the director of their antibodies, what's his name? My book here? No, that's not Biomet.
You had lots of notes.
I can't remember what it... Panopus or something like that. But he's the guy who does all the antibody shit for CSL.
Yep.
And I was just listening to him talk for, it might have been like 50 minutes. And he's talking and I'm like, oh my god, I know this. And he's like, 2 heavy chains, 2 light chains, and we can do this and we can do that. And I learned stuff like there's chimeric.
Yep.
That's when you fuse two, like for example, rabbit and human to make an antibody.
And see,
then don't correct me.
No, I was just going to say, when people usually obtain, just in case people really like this part, when people obtain antibodies from a company, you can get different ones. They're either monoclonal or polyclonal.
I was getting to that.
Oh, sorry. Continue. I'll shut up.
But, you know, but then there's non-human.
So synthetic.
No. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. Let me think. There's chimeric, non-humanized,
Uh-huh.
and then humanized. But they tend to not use chimeric and non-humanized because in 2006 they were in like I think phase 2. Bite your nail one more time. I swear.
Not. I'm just.
They used it in a clinical trial. Like they were in the middle of a clinical trial, and the antibody they used generated cytokine storm in the patients, and the majority of them, I think they were. I have to double check the paper. It's still there because I wanted to print it and read it because he referenced it. But they had organ failure for 6 to 12 days.
Yeah, just so you know, cytokines.
And then they put them in a public hospital. This wasn't CSL. This was some other.
Was it Monsanto?
You know what? It's on my phone, but I'm using my phone. Cytokine Storm Antibody 2006.
Yeah, Cytokine Storms. So basically, just...
it was phase 1. My bad. Continue.
Sorry, just to give someone... I'll give you... All the people's listening, what a cytokine storm is, it's essentially just overproduction of your immune cells. And then when you get overproduction or just even general production of immune cells, the activation compounds... Sorry, because it's the activating compounds, cytokines.
Is what is released to generate inflammation, so that way pro-healing factors such as your white blood cells can be attracted to the area.
Yes.
But if you are releasing cytokines and chemokines in that amount, and you're super agonizing your immune system.
Yeah, like
basically your body decides that everything it comes into contact with is damaged, and your body literally starts liquefying and attacking itself. And your body starts digesting you from the inside out. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, the cytokine storms...
Oh, I've got it for you here. Let me just add it to our notes.
Are most prominently found with the monoclonal antibody drugs. And also T-cell therapies.
It's right there for you, sir. I just added it in. Woo. But it was from Sun Tharalingam and Co. Where are they from? So it was anti-CD28 monoclonal of the IgG4 kappa subclass, and they were looking to expand T cells independently of the ligation of the T cell receptor.
And essentially all monoclonal antibodies are just antibodies.
Well, the thing is, it did what they wanted it to do.
Exactly, and they're derived from identical immune cells. And essentially this means they're clones of a parent cell.
All 6 patients who received the drug trial were male with a median age of 29.5, ranging from 19 to 34. None had a notable medical history. All were clinically well during the 2 weeks before the study. Beginning at 8 a.m. on day 1, each volunteer received an intravenous infusion, 10 minutes apart of either the study drug or the placebo. Each infusion lasted 3 to 6 minutes. 6 volunteers of the treatment group each received 0.1 milligrams per kilogram of TGN 1412 per body weight, infused at a rate of 2 milligrams per minute, and the remaining 2 volunteers received a similar volume of saline. And then adverse effects began in the treatment group directly after infusion, starting with the onset of severe headache in the 5 patients after a meeting of 60 minutes, so ranging from 50 to 90. And then they had lumbar myalgia in all patients in 77 minutes. And then they were restless with varying degrees of nausea, vomiting, bowel urgency, and diarrhea. And then it just literally went downhill from there. Their heart rates went up to 145 beats per minute, 280 minutes after transfusion. Their body temperatures went to 40 degrees after 280 minutes, and at 300 minutes, they started their bodies started showing signs of respiratory failure, and their oxygen partial pressure dropped.
That's not
significant to 52 mil here. One patient 6, became hypertensive, so 65/40 millimeters of mercury 12 hours afterwards, and he had a metabolic acidosis, marked respiratory distress, hypoxemia, and he underwent intubation and mechanical ventilation and was admitted to intensive care at Northwick Park and St Mark's Hospital. So that's our location. Where is this? This has to be somewhere in the US or UK. Want to place bets?
I'm going to say the UK.
UK.
Woo! Winning again.
Far out. That's insane. Wow. So yeah. That's what I learned yesterday.
Yeah, pain and suffering.
Yep. Alright, so second last story for the day. This is a bit more genetic again. A new study has found that each of the 3 distinct species of Hawaiian spider evolved from one species that arrived on Hawaii 3 million years ago. Everyone knows I have a soft spot for Hawaii. This is a rare case of adaptive radiation, and these spiders are categorized based on their habitat. So brown ones live on rocks, golden ones live under leaves, and the white one live on moss and lichen. And they have the weirdest shaped abdomen that I have ever seen. It almost looks like a star or like a D20.
Yeah.
Except it's like it's like a triangle on the side. And it just looks really weird. It looks like a D5 or something like that.
And there's 14 different species of the Aramni stick spiders. So it takes pick-up sticks to a whole new level, because I wouldn't be picking up any of these sticks.
I don't know if it's venomous or anything like that, but just the colouring is intense. And their just saying, in Australia, we learned growing up that if they have an elongated abdomen, the bigger the abdomen, the longer the abdomen, the rounder the abdomen, the less you fuck with it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and it's literally a triangle on its side. And I'm like, I would feel bad for my shoe.
Yeah.
For knocking it with my shoe.
And also, you know the reason why they're shaped the way they are?
Why?
Is they're basically shifty little buggers, because what they do is they steal from other spiders. So then what they do is they want the food, so they trap the other spiders to get the food, and then they take the food from them.
Because they underwent similar selection pressures, and then they just kept evolving over and over again the same way.
Yeah. Talk about...
Do you know what their genus is? Can you help a girl out?
Of this one, I'm pretty sure it'd be Arachne.
No, the genus, species.
Oh, okay.
Sillybilly.
So...
based on a report, let's see what they say. I don't really like press releases from, university institutions, but I'm hoping. That's literally, I opened up the Berkeley news page and look how big. That's like twice the size of a Facebook photo.
Yeah, the genus is Ariadnes.
Well, you didn't say that. You said arachnid.
Sorry. Yeah, it's part of arachne, but it's Ariadnes.
That's not what I asked. Oh my god. Let's just have a look here. Dude, it looks like a lizard. Wait, that's dragging a lizard.
Yeah, it's a triangle.
Jesus.
It looks ridiculous, doesn't it?
Dude, it's dragging a lizard.
Yeah.
Is it dragging a lizard or is it a lizard? I can't tell.
I think
That
it is.
is creepy. Oh my god.
Creepy lizards. Dead lizard. So, yeah, evolution for the win.
I'd rather not.
Repeated diversification of ecomorphs.
I hate spiders. Yes, I do.
Yeah, so...
I hate the spiders. They can take a poo. Alright, so anyway, last story of the day. So this popped up on my Facebook when I woke up early this morning. So this 37-year-old tryhard from Melbourne, he got his... I don't even know why, but this was special to him. It wasn't even like a fucking, you know, Aston Martin or anything half decent. But he has this this 2013 Porsche SUV impounded after he went 60 k's over the limit in Albert Park.
Whoops.
He even filmed himself on his phone
Whoops.
going 100 in a 40 zone, and he's lost his car for 30 days. He owned it for literally, I think it was 10 minutes. Let me double check the Herald Sun article, but I'm pretty sure he either owned it for less than 10 minutes or dead on 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes after purchasing it. He got his car impounded. He's expected to be charged on summons with speeding and using a mobile phone while driving.
Interesting fact, though, back on the spiders, did you know what the one of the fastest spiders on the planet is?
Redback.
Nope, the giant house spider.
Looks at house. You know what? I don't even know.
It was clocked at 1.73 feet per second, or approximately 0.53 meters per second.
What's a house spider?
The big black things we see running.
Oh!
Yeah, those things. Yeah.
It's a male.
Yeah.
That's a male redback.
No. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. That's not a house spider. A house spider is separate.
It was introduced to Australia and New Zealand and Japan.
And it's basically, you also get lunging predators like Carapops. Yeah. Caryops, yeah.
It's native. Why would it be native here?
I don't know. It's stupid.
Look, I don't understand why my mother's parents decided, let's emigrate to Australia. Like, I know why they did it.
Because of all everything here wants to kill you.
No, I just don't understand.
It's just crazy.
I don't understand. Like, I have this... I don't know if friend is the right word, but I have this internet acquaintance. And he watches my YouTube, like my booktube stuff. And he reached out to me and we've just been talking about books and stuff. And he asked me where I lived. And so, obviously, I don't give that information out. But I was like, I live in Australia. And he was like, here you guys have big snakes and spiders. And I'm like, well, you're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong there.
And it's just crazy. It really is. They just pop up everywhere. And also, just another quick one, just in case anyone is aware and probably doesn't know this, or they do, they probably should. The fastest land animal is the...
Cheetah?
Yep. The cheetah has a land speed record of 109.4 to 120.7 kilometers per hour, which is approximately...
What's the most venomous? Yes, venomous is red.
Yep, venomous. Is it the yellow belly black or the red belly black snake?
Not a snake, spider.
Oh, spider. Sorry.
The brown recluse.
Oh, sounds fun. And then the peregrine falcon is the fastest bird at 389 kilometers per hour. And that's a diving speed.
Oh no, sorry, that's incorrect. That was number 9. Funnel web.
Yep. Funnel webs are just nasty. I know someone who was bitten by one of them. Ended up in a coma. It's shit. Like, seriously shit. They are scary motherfuckers. That's all I'm saying. Funnel web spiders.
You have no choice but to deliver anti-venom.
Yeah, that's the only thing you do. They will kill you.
I want to see what's in their venom.
It's just...
My God, moth.
I remember when you squished the huntsman against the window.
Oh.
That was a big huntsman. Very, 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 very big. It's huge.
It's got an atritoxin, an ion channel inhibitor, toxic to humans, doesn't affect the nervous system. Typically they deliver a full envenomation when they bite, but they strike repeatedly. In severe cases where they've bitten you and injected venom, the time to onset is less than 1 hour.
Yeah.
But a study found a median time of 28 minutes.
And just a saying too regarding funnel webs, if you see a funnel web, don't kill it, capture it with a jar and take it
to be milked.
Because
but who do you hand that to?
You basically, there's a poison hotline that you actually ring up and say, I've got a funnel web.
And they're like, yes, geez, thanks.
You'd be able to take it to a zoo.
Right, so it's got delta atritoxin, that's what it's called, also known as robustoxin or robustotoxin. It's a low molecular weight neurotoxic polypeptide. Fuck, if it's a peptide, you're fucked. Found in the venom of the funnel web, a potentially fatal neurotoxic symptom 0 to 9. Inactivates the sodium ion channels in autonomic and motor neurons.
Yeah.
It exerts in spiders intended. It's in insects. It also, I guess, because they're smaller, like we're larger, but they can do this. They also blocks potassium and calcium ion channels. So if you're blocking the calcium ion channel, you're not going to be able to release any neurotransmitters at all. So,
but the other thing too is
it's got a core beta region with cystic knot motif.
And just in case there's people there who are arachnophobic and they do hate these spiders as much as you want to.
Look, I hate them more as much as anyone else on the planet, but if someone's like, oh hey, we need to milk it to save lives, I wouldn't. Oh fuck, how would you do it? Like, I don't even have a jar.
Yeah, but the thing is, what you do is you don't kill it because they kill cockroaches and flies and mosquitoes. So massive hard hitters in the ecosystem. So
oh my god, I have the protein sequence here.
Ooh.
It's got it's stabilized by, I'm sorry, let's just nerd out for 2 minutes, okay? Time starting now. The structure consists of a small triple-stranded beta sheet, stabilized by a disulfide knot. It's got a C-terminal extension with inverse Y turns. It's got 2 disulfide bonds that stabilize the disulfide knot. It's connected to a backbone on a 3rd disulfide knot. It's got a... what else? It's just topology stuff. It's just insane. Wow. I like proteins. Proteins. Alright. I'm done. Oh my god. The Commonwealth Serum Labs in Melbourne. That's where you should call.
There we go. Done. So,
one dose of anti-venom requires 70 milkings from a funnel web.
Yeah, so they don't really mess around with it.
It's prepared from the plasma of rabbits. I am not happy about this.
Yeah.
It takes 125 units of anti-venom to standardize and neutralize 1.25 milligrams of the venom.
Jeez. Also, on a happier note, regarding bunnies, the largest bunny in the world was Darius, and he's approximately 1.3 meters long and weighs in at 22.2 kilos.
Shit.
Yeah, Darius is a very...
He's not a rabbit, he's a hare.
He's a continental giant rabbit. Continental giant rabbit. And he holds a Guinness,
He holds
record.
a Guinness.
Holds a Guinness! Jeez, he could hold about 10 of them. It's just... Oh.
Hey, isn't it...
But his son Jeff may be larger. We should get one of those. Where would you put it? You'd walk it down the street like a dog.
Fred and Daenerys?
She'd flip.
Would she flip or would she be like, this is the husband for me?
This is the husband.
Could you imagine if he was scared of Daenerys?
Oh, but just seeing that, I mean, imagine that sitting here like this, like,
Do you know, I've come to the conclusion that compared to other people, we really shelter our rabbits.
Yeah, we do.
Where I'm worried about them jumping around from a couch to the floor of like less than 10 centimetres. Apparently that's pathetic, according to some people.
Yeah. They just go mental race around, go all over the place. So, yeah. Most crazy. But
Just a friend just be like, oh, are the biomed notes tomorrow up on the our online system? And I've gone, nope, but there's no biomed tomorrow though. It's biochem for me tomorrow. Oh,
so,
she was the one who told me about this electrocution story yesterday, I should say.
Yeah.
Alright everyone, I think we've severely run over time. What are your plans for this week? Because is it St. Paddy's Day this weekend?
Yep.
This Saturday. Victoria has to vote on Saturday.
Yep.
And we've got statewide elections. I have no idea who I'm voting for. I'll probably just go Labour.
Vote for Pedro.
Because she's talking about students and decreasing rent, and she's talking about jobs and shit and health. Something. Because the Greens lady scares me.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting.
But apart from that, just studying. I'd like to go... I know I said this last week, but I was like, last week I was like, I want to go watch Red Sparrow. I want to go
study.
and watch it sometime in the next week before I hear from you guys.
Yeah.
You guys hear from me the words.
And I'm going to finish Artemis.
He said, I'm sorry, but this is our 9th episode.
I'm getting there.
And it's... Okay, how many more pages do you have? And also, have you been using Goodreads like you've been supposed to?
No. I've been using EndNote.
Have you? Because my version, I have to I downloaded the site while you write, and every time I go to use it, I have to reinstall it because the plugin doesn't work with the update that the Microsoft put through.
You know what I did? I didn't update.
Well, I had to update.
I didn't.
Because mine's like through the uni and they force you to update.
So, updating time.
Alright, everyone.
So.
That's where we shall leave you this afternoon.
Yes.
This evening. It's actually 7:06, so I'm sorry that it's going to be up a little later than usual. I came home from uni earlier than I anticipated, but I had to eat because I didn't have lunch today. And then I was like, I'm going to have a shower before I eat. And then blah, blah, blah. And then we had a conversation. We almost completely forgot to record today.
Yeah, it was close.
So, apologise that this will probably go up maybe an hour or so later than it normally does.
Yep.
But I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Thank you so much for listening. As always, if there are any questions you want us to answer for you, any specific topics or discussions you want us to have, topics you want us to talk about, discussions you want us to have, please be sure to let us know. As always, contacts are in the episode notes. That's it from me.
That's me. For me,
Yep. And we shall see you in the next one, everyone.
Yep.
May
the force be with you.
May the odds ever be in your favour.
Yes.
What's the Vulcan one?
Well, it's not may the force be with you.
I wasn't the one that said may the force be with you.
It was me.
You said it.
Live long and prosper.
Let's give these exams a Vulcan hello.
Vulcan hello.
Alright, bye bye.
Bye bye.